Welcome to The Explainer. I am so glad you're here today. We're going to explore a really profound state of being that so many of us are carrying around completely in secret. If you've been feeling lately like simply getting through the day is this impossible, towering mountain to climb, listen, I want you to know right off the bat, you are seen. And by the end of our time together today, you're going to understand exactly what's been happening to you.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. Do you ever get home, immediately collapse onto your bed, and just feel entirely too exhausted to keep existing? And to be clear, it's not that you want to die, not at all. You just don't want to deal with the heavy, relentless, everyday burden of existence anymore. Society loves to slap labels on this, right? They might call you lazy or unmotivated or tell you to just go outside and get some fresh air. But the truth is, this is absolutely not about a lack of willpower.
Let's dive right into this by giving your struggle its actual clinical name: existential exhaustion. Establishing this is absolutely crucial because it proves, once and for all, that this isn't some personal failing on your part. What it actually is a state of profound energetic depletion. It's a completely overloaded system where just managing the basic, everyday variables of normal life feels literally impossible. To really wrap our heads around why this happens, imagine your brain is like a smartphone. On the outside, the screen is totally dark. Everything looks totally normal and peaceful. But deep inside the system, you've got about 45 heavy apps running in the background all at the exact same time. You've got an app for financial stress, an app for unhealed past wounds, one for being a supportive partner, another for being an outstanding employee. And they are silently draining your battery every single second of the day, which honestly is exactly why you can be sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing and still feel like you just ran a marathon.
Now consider this totally staggering number, 35,000. According to research from Cornell University, the average adult makes up to 35,000 decisions a day, from what to wear, to what route to take to work, to exactly how to word an email. Think about it, our evolutionary ancestors really only had to worry about finding food and, not getting eaten by a tiger. But this massive modern load, it completely fries the prefrontal cortex, leading to severe decision fatigue. By the end of the day, your decision-making system just goes on strike, and suddenly, even deciding what to eat for dinner makes you want to snap.
But here is where the social and emotional toll really begins to take shape, through what we call the social mask. Because from the outside, you look fantastic. You wake up, you get dressed, maybe fix your hair, grab your coffee, you go into the office, you're smiling, you're crushing deadlines, you're laughing at the water cooler, you tell everyone, "Oh, I'm doing great." You present as this high-functioning, perfectly well-adjusted adult. But then there's the reality. The literal second that front door clicks shut behind you at the end of the day, you collapse. The energy is just completely gone. You probably don't even have the stamina to change out of your work clothes. You just fall heavily onto the mattress and stare into the dark. And yet the very next morning, boom, the actor is right back on stage because, well, rent still has to be paid, right? You're still out there grabbing coffee, giving out phenomenal advice to your friends, perfectly managing small talk. To the outside world, your system reads totally green. And the tragic part is, nobody throws a life raft to someone who looks like they're swimming perfectly fine.
But then the evening rolls around again, and that smile drops instantly. I mean, it's like a heavy stage curtain just being completely cut loose. The performance ends, and the sheer exhaustion takes over your entire body all over again. You start to realize that literally all your energy for the day was spent simply performing the role of a normal person.
This exhausting daily performance is explained perfectly by psychologist Carl Jung's concept of the persona. That's the social mask we all wear to function in the real world. For someone dealing with existential exhaustion, the gap between the total emptiness you feel inside and this bright, smiling mask on the outside has just grown way too wide. Playing an actor who never, ever gets to leave the stage burns massive, totally unsustainable amounts of cognitive energy.
And this chronic energy drain leads us directly to a really important concept: anhedonia. Your brain's reward system, the part that pumps out dopamine, is so ridiculously overworked that the things that used to light you up, they no longer trigger any chemical excitement whatsoever. A new movie, a fun night out, a text from your best friend, nothing happens. It's not sadness exactly, it's just a profound emotional emptiness. The world literally loses its color, and you feel like you're just drifting blindly through the script of your life without feeling a single thing.
So when you literally can't feel joy, your nervous system desperately goes looking for safety instead. People might call this laziness, but psychology tells us it's actually a brilliant, unconscious defense mechanism. You end up doom-scrolling mindless videos for hours on end. You rewatch the exact same sitcom for the 10th time because, hey, you know exactly how it ends. No surprises, no sudden emotional challenges. You put your phone down and pick it right back up 2 seconds later. Your exhausted brain is just craving something that is 100% predictable.
Now, this desperate need for safety completely radically impacts our relationships. Picture this. A close friend texts you asking to grab a quick coffee. For someone with energy, that's a lovely invitation. But for the exhausted brain, it triggers instant internal panic. Your mind starts rapidly calculating the cost. Okay, if I go, I have to shower, get dressed, force a smile, talk about my life, and worse, I have to listen to theirs. Your brain actually views this super simple coffee date as a massive, overwhelming threat to the tiny bit of energy you have left in the tank.
Which leads to a painfully isolating paradox called calculated withdrawal. You literally push people away just to survive. You leave friendly messages unread for days. And it creates immense guilt because you love your friends and you know this isolation is eating away at you. But honestly, you prefer enduring the loneliness over having to carry the weight of someone else's emotions when your own tank is completely empty. It's survival mode.
All right, so how do we actually survive this? How do we build a real recovery plan? Well, if you are at the absolute bottom of the exhaustion barrel, we are completely skipping the toxic positivity, no 5 a.m. runs, or forced good vibes only nonsense today. Instead, we're going to implement a minimum survival mode, starting with 3 low-friction steps. Drop the persona, set up a zero-decision protocol, and engage in deep biological rest.
Step 1 is all about social fasting. Just like your digestion needs a break sometimes, your nervous system desperately needs an emotional strike. You might need to send a simple, honest message to your loved ones explaining your absence. Drop the actor's mask. Be real about your exhaustion so you instantly remove that intense pressure to pretend you're fine. Give yourself explicit, unapologetic permission to step off the stage, turn on Do Not Disturb, and set clear boundaries.
Moving on to step 2, the zero-decision protocol. Remember those 35,000 daily decisions frying your poor prefrontal cortex? Yeah, tech founders like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg literally wore the exact same outfit every single day just to save mental energy. So borrow that strategy. Put your life on a temporary autopilot system. Pick 3 simple outfits and just rotate them. Plan 1 super basic weekly menu. Eliminating these tiny, unnecessary choices removes chaos from your day and finally signals safety to your nervous system.
Now, step 3 is absolutely critical. We have got to separate junk rest from deep biological rest. Most of us fall straight into the trap of junk rest. Scrolling TikTok for 4 hours in bed. That aggressively spikes your dopamine, bombards your retinas with blue light, and leaves you way foggier than when you started. True rest is what Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman calls NSDR, or non-sleep deep rest. No screens, no music, no podcasts. Just 15 to 20 minutes lying completely flat on the floor, doing absolutely nothing.
Yes, I know your overstimulated brain is going to absolutely scream that staring at the ceiling is painfully boring. But listen to what actually happens biologically if you can just endure 5 minutes of that discomfort. Your biology literally shifts gears. It turns off the sympathetic nervous system, which is your panicked fight or flight survival mode, and it activates the parasympathetic system. Your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure drops, and your body actually gets to begin the hard work of repairing all those stress-damaged cells. Which brings us to this absolutely beautiful, deeply restorative metaphor. Think about it. Nature doesn't bloom all year round, so why on earth should you? Think about the wintertime. A field looks completely dead and lifeless on the surface for months on end. But deep underground, completely hidden away from the demanding eyes of the world, those roots are resting, they're recovering, and they are storing up vital nutrients for the spring. You are not broken. You are not a failure. You're just in your winter. I want to leave you with a final, kind of provocative thought today. You are fully allowed to exist at 30%. In a world that is constantly demanding nonstop performance and endless productivity, simply surviving and getting through the day when you're this exhausted is a heroic achievement all on its own. Forgive yourself for being tired, vigorously protect what little energy you have, and just let yourself rest. Winter will pass, I promise. You just need to still be here to see it. So what would actually happen if you gave yourself permission to just... Welcome to